What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 in my new digs, in my new location, here for a brand new review. Alright, this time I'm going to do a review on Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox. I was blessed to be able to check this brand new animated feature by DC Comics. It's going to be so different for me to actually do the review for this one because it's not actual live action people, but some of my favorite voice actors from Justice League, from Superman, from different animated features. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it this time. Normally I go off of environment, musical score. So this time around I'm going to talk about how the animation looked, how the dynamic of speed, of course it's a Flash movie, environment change, action, how that was actually done as far as with the animation. So off the gate on this one, I compare it to actually certain animes that I actually thought were really amazing. Definitely one that came to mind was definitely Redline. This one, it's the definition of speed. I mean, the whole aspect of it just so crazy, some of the things that happen. And so with Flash in this movie, they do such a really good job as far as the animation, as far as his speed, as far as when he actually is interacting with all the other different characters. It's a perfect kind of blend between animational style, between like how they've done with the recent The Dark Knight Returns, or even when you think back to older school stuff like The Phantom Menace, Batman. So the animation is definitely there on this one, y'all. But they added a different kind of direction with it, because whenever Flash actually goes and he actually moves really fast, they actually put in a CG element. And so when they put in the CG element, I thought back to like something like Appleseed Ex Machina. With this one, it's all completely CG animation. And so this one was a really perfect blend. When you actually see the Flash, he's flying so fast as far as with the speed. And he's going through water, he's going on buildings, like you can tell it's really different in the way they designed it, and I thought it's a really good step up for what's next with DC animation. There's been a major announcement which I talked about in my earlier videos with now they're actually going to do Batman in the Superman universe, which is going to be the next Man of Steel sequel. The next movie they're talking about doing in 2016 is going to be the Flash movie. This is a really good starting point to start off with an animated feature. To me, I think that when you think about animation, how it looks, the dynamic of it, some different animes have been perpetuated into live action just because of how well they're done. Different animations have been made into great captured film live action. When you think about Kick-Ass, as far as the comic, it was driven so well and drawn so perfectly, crisp. And when you see it on actual big screen, it transcends and it works really well. And so for this is the Flash version of when this goes out to the theaters, whoever they pick, it has something to live up to. I even think about with the Avengers, that was a big thing as well, with the animated Ultimate Avengers that came out. When I thought back and I looked back to the Avengers and I went and compared the two, I was like, wow, they picked a lot of different points from this. But the animation on this one, y'all, I loved it. I have to give the animation a 5 out of 5 because they didn't just keep it a traditional style. Like, they didn't just have it so, alright, somebody gets killed, it was just like blood and stuff everywhere. Or they didn't just have it so if somebody is like fighting or whatever, then it's the same old emotional kind of thing. No, it takes different elements from all the different DC animated movies and adds onto them with the way that Flash actually moves, and we have to actually see him with it. So there's times where Flash is moving so fast, you look and you could swear this is a Dragon Ball Z moment when he's actually going and battling against Zoom, who's one of the major villains of this movie. But I'm gonna go into more into later on, after maybe a week's time. I would actually do a spoiler review, but I will not put any spoilers within this movie, within regards to what I feel about it. So there's one thing I'm actually going to bring to the next part of this. So the next thing I'm actually going to talk about is the actual acting. I'm going to say the voice acting to what I'm going to talk about with this one. So the voice acting for this, they have everything from Kevin Conroy, they have everybody that was from the Justice League in their major roles, between Green Lantern, between Lois Lane, between Daily, between all the different voice actors. Is so well done. And they brought like a life to Flash that they've never had before. I know Michael Rosenbaum, he was the original voice actor for the Flash within the Justice League, and he did such a good job for it. But this one, they had such a serious tone with it. I can't remember the actual voice actor's name of it. I'm going to research it and talk to y'all more about it in my spoiler review. But he did a really good job with this Flash. Like it was a different presence to him, and even it showed with the animation. But animation can go but so far. Like a person can show how they actually feeling, but when you actually show with the vocal, that's a whole different level. And I think that he did a really good job with the Flash for this one. Like, I've actually more now a Flash fan than I ever have been, just because of looking at this. It was just so epic, and the voice talent was just so good. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, everybody. Like, they have everybody in this: Lex Luthor, Deathstroke, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Etrigan, Cyborg. Only person I honestly say I couldn't even see was Nightwing and Robin. That was the only person that I did not see within either one of the universes that went back and forth between. But they even showed newer characters, which they explored that in the comic book. If you've never read the comic books, Flashpoint, highly recommend it. Especially after seeing this, you're going to want to go back and revisit it. But believe it or not, y'all, small spoiler alert, but Thomas Wayne makes a really big, impactful influence on this movie, in the alternate universe. Characters like the Grifter, characters like, it's just so many different levels to it, and so many different characters you would not expect to be in this one that are in them. And the voice actors that play the talents, you can hear them from the older like episodes of the Justice League, Superman, Legion of Heroes, all these different animated features. You can tell these are the same actors. And so this was a big project, y'all. I thought this was kind of going to be like kind of a low set, low key kind of thing. And I was like, Flashpoint, what is that? They didn't really show Superman in any of the previews, so I didn't think even Superman was going to be in. I was like disappointed about that. Didn't see that much of Batman to the degree. But you will not be disappointed in this. Everybody is in this. So as far as with the characters and the way they actually did the voice acting and everything, I thought that was perfect. Next, I'm going to go into storyline. But before I get into storyline, I have to get actually my notes, because there's some specific scenes, oh my gosh, that so crazy, which is not spoilers, but for you to articulate what I'm trying to say between this storyline, I needed to tell you about them. So hold on one second. Did my Flash impersonation this way. But on the real, y'all, the storyline for this one, it was really good. So many different elements to it, because it starts off such a traditional kind of Justice League episode movie, but you get to see off the gate like how fast Flash really is, how skilled he really is. He goes up and there's this fight scene that it starts off with, where he's fighting against all his arch nemesis. They're all trying to collectively come against him, and it's so crazy because not only is he so good and so fast that they really can't get up against him, but he's so creative and just calm that he literally has it all under control. And I thought before that Flash was kind of brought off kind of cocky, but he's just really that good. He thinks that fast. And with this one, they put such a serious tone on him. He even kind of directs the Justice League in a certain way, which is so crazy because I've never seen the Flash be put into kind of a leadership role, but he plays it to a T in this storyline, and it shows from the very beginning. But before this scene actually happens, there's a scene where him and his mother are stranded on the road when he's really little, and he goes and starts off with him trying to run to try to catch the car because he's trying to flag him down, like, stop, 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 we're stuck here. And his mom kind of just grabs him and picks him up and tells him, like, you need to chill out, like, calm down, it's all good. And her words were like, you can't change other people, it's just stupid for trying. In the movie, this plays a role a little bit as well, because at a certain point something happens and we switch to a whole alternate universe that the Flash is put in, and he does not know how to deal with it. But he knows that even though his task is getting back to his world and actually going and changing the course of time, so to speak, from the universe that he's in, he feels as though he has to stop it or help them or do something about it, and trying to change people back to what his reality of what they were. And like his mother saying this plays a role later on in it, which is so crazy. I didn't even think about that until I read it. There's another point where after she says this, she says that my grandmother told me this prayer a long time ago. And this is what the prayer was. Accept the things you cannot change. Have the courage to change the things that you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. And so I was like, okay, I didn't understand it. Sure enough, like Barry was like, as a little kid, I was like, I don't understand this, Mom. But something happens, and then that's when we jump through with the scene that we start off with that I was telling you about, as far as the action scene with the villains. But from the pacing, from the story, from the arc, from the seriousness of it, you see all the different Justice League characters turned upside down in so many different ways. How it's kind of like an Elseworld comic kind of thing. Like, what if this had not happened? What if this had happened? Like, for instance, I'll give a small spoiler. Well, I can't really give it, but what if, hypothetically speaking, the Flash didn't exist? What would that mean for the Justice League? Scenarios like that, you know, take a major character of the pivotal point in the universe that we think of in the DC universe as the Justice League, or as a hero, or even as a villain, and if that person didn't exist, what would happen? What would change, you know? But with the prayer that his mom told him about, he accepts, like, the things that he couldn't change. Like, he had to make him become the hero that he's supposed to be. And I mean, of course he had courage to actually go and make change. But when you get to a point where everything you know, every person you care about, and it works and meshes and so know how it's supposed to be, but you miss that one person that you wish could be in your life, what would you do? And that was when both of those ideals straddled the fence, and he didn't understand the difference between it. And I can't ruin it for you, but it's such a good storyline, y'all. Like I said, Bruce's dad plays a big role in this. Deathstroke, two big characters, play a huge role in the things that are taking place in the other world. I will tell you the names: Wonder Woman, Aquaman. If you've seen the Wonder Woman movie, of course Aquaman does not necessarily have a movie, but your whole thought process about what they're capable of is going to change after this movie. Like, you're going to see what they're truly capable of, how destructive they really can be, how ferocious they can actually be. It's just amazing. I was looking at Aquaman doing some of the things that he did, and when you look at the 52 comics that are out now, like, that's one of the top comics right now. People don't understand that because they haven't actually looked at it, but Aquaman has a set of skills that are far more valuable than what they're given and shown in actual animated features and, of course, in the movie world. But they show it to the T in this one, and it's amazing. When you play Injustice, if anybody has played Injustice, that's a big thing. So when I think about, like, the story arcs and the animation with the way they did this one, it brought me back to The Dark Knight or Batman, The Gotham Knight. And then when I think about Public Enemies had a lot of action in it. A lot of stuff went down in this. And the animation for this is just so different and so transcending. But the storylines, they kind of didn't go the distance, you know what I'm saying? But if this one, by the end of it, you're like wishing there was more. And I'm not saying that there's not more, but you're gonna be invested in Flashpoint Paradox. I promise you. One of the favorite things that I saw in the final stages of it, it was when I saw Flash, and he's pushed to his very limit, and he was hurt. He didn't have really any hope, but he pushed himself so hard. It made you want to root for him. It made you become a Flash fan. After everything he's gone through, and he got put through a lot of different things and stuff that I can't even tell you, but in the spoiler section I definitely will. But by the end of it, you were gonna be cheering him on, and it's just so epic. So as far as when I think about the storyline, I'd have to give the storyline a 5 out of 5. I have to give the voice acting a 5 out of 5. I was surprised. I was intrigued. I am invested now. And if they choose to talk more or do more with this storyline, I am definitely going to go back and get the Flashpoint books and all the different alternatives to it. I couldn't speak more enough about it. So my first animated feature review, I have to give it all around a 5 out of 5. Highly invested. Definitely going to get the Blu-ray DVD set. Recommend you do the same. And I'm out. Enjoy. Y'all have a blessed one. The next review I'm probably going to do is going to be on most likely Pacific Rim, but it might be Wolverine. You'll just have to wait and see. Later, y'all.